Well, good evening and welcome to the Queensland Futures League 2021. We're broadcasting live once again from Bannister Park in the Brisbane suburb of Hendra. Bannister Park, of course, is the home club of the All-Stars Baseball Club, and it's Wednesday night, the 29th of September 2021. Pitcher's going through his warm-up routine. We're about to get this game underway, so we will go straight to the lineups for both of these teams. Lumberjacks are in the field, and in the top of the inning the Yardbirds will come to the plate, and leading off with the bat will be Lachlan Wilson. And I'll ask Matt to go through the defensive lineup for the Lumberjacks.
So on the mound for the Lumberjacks tonight we have Byron Humble. At catcher we have John Lem. First baseman is Josh Marriott. Second base we have Tiger Saito. Shortstop is Beckham Crooks. At third base we have Jacob Nilsson. Liam O'Hay is out in left field. Centre fielder for tonight is Kylan Pearce. And our right fielder is Soren Branch, as Lachlan Wilson swung through that first pitch.
Thanks. Bunt play.
Lachlan tries to drag bunt there. Can't quite get down far enough. Byron makes a nice play off the mound, and that gets us the first out of the innings. On a
1-3 ground ball back to the pitcher. Unusual start to a game, Matt.
It is. Although there's been a little bit of rain around, so ball's a bit dewy on the ground. Not a bad play there from Lachlan. Make the pitcher get off the mound, field the wet ball, make him make a throw.
And coming to the plate now for the Yardbirds, Sam Campion. We'll get to the other lineups as we go through this game. We've gone on air nicely on time tonight, maybe a minute or two later than we would have liked, but we'll go through the intros anyway. Of course, co-commentary tonight and play-by-play specialist for us, Matt Glasson, in his third week of broadcasting this Futures League, doing a wonderful job. Good on you, Matt.
Thank you.
Also in co-commentary as well, Tay O'Keefe from the West Club. And
hello.
Hi Tay. Welcome back again for your second week in a row here, and all together here, this team for the season, if you like, the 10 rounds or the 9 rounds plus grand final of the Queensland Futures League 2021. And you'll get a couple of different camera shots tonight. We've got no fences in the way, and of course Rodney Reed out there down the third base line going to bring us a lot of tracking. Matt.
Yes, indeed. So we have a 2-ball 1 count here on Sam. Byron keeping it nice and close to start innings off.
Around the umbrella, is that what we're
Yes,
looking
I'm
at?
trying to sort of see the strikes in here around the umbrella in front of me. So
I might have to go out and shoo that spectator off to the left or something.
We'll work
Sam draws a walk there, brings up our DH for the Yardbirds. We have Jackson Grounds now at bat.
And of course, Tay's joined us again, Tay O'Keefe, and you had an interesting drive here, I believe, in what's supposedly a storm.
It was. I kept driving through the storm and getting out of it, and then it kept catching up with me as I was coming along. So I'm glad it hasn't followed me here, though. I think it must have blown around, so that might be really good for tonight.
Yeah, and
fingers crossed.
Well, a little bit of dampness on the infield is not too bad.
Good for slides, as the kids would say.
Keeps the dirt down nice and soft.
Yeah.
And so it could be good. At the moment, it's all holding off. We did get the edge of the storm.
Little bit of rain, but at least it didn't pour, so that's really good.
Just enough to cover the cameras up and all the electronics, so nobody gets sparked up.
Love the camera angles tonight. They're really amazing.
Well,
got inside the fence.
We spoke to Rodney Reed, and he's an old hand. He's not that old. A young hand, and he's out there on the top of the scaffolding, and he's going to bring us some magnificent shots, I'm sure, from out there. He's got the brolly up and got a nice warm jacket on to keep dry.
I was worried about him getting a bit wet out there, but he's got his big umbrella and a couple of jackets.
He's cool. He had a couple of options, but he's taken that option, which I'm really pleased about. It's the first time we've had that camera in action from that angle, and it's really pleasing to be able to bring you those nice clear shots with no fences in there.
Nice. Very good. The kids, all the players will be able to watch their plays back, their favourite plays back.
Yep.
Unobstructed, which would be wonderful. Now I have the leaderboard. Did you want me to update people?
Go through that table before it starts getting all wobbly, because there's 2 games on it. It will change.
Right. So this is the third week in. So we have Lumberjacks have 2 wins and no losses, which is great. They're at the top of the the field at the moment, which is great. And Assassins, they have one win and one loss. The Jethawks have 1 win and 1 loss. And then the Yardbirds, which are playing tonight, 2 losses. So we really have the top of the board and the bottom of the field playing
first
tonight.
and fourth.
Yeah, or first and fourth, if you want to put it in a better way. So it could be a really interesting way for the Yardbirds to sort of show what they've got tonight, but it might be a little bit of an uphill battle.
Well, tonight sees the end of the first round, if you like, where after tonight all of the 4 teams have played each other once.
Okay.
So because there's 9 rounds, at the end of those 9 rounds they will have all played each other 3 times.
And also, they are rotating the players. So
Yep.
Just because they've won 2 games doesn't mean they're the same players that are out here on the field tonight. They might be playing in different positions and trying them around.
Nice pitch there from Humble, I've got to say, just to interrupt you. He threw it outside high and he attempted Jackson Grounds with it, and Grounds went after it.
Yeah, Jackson, a couple of foul balls there on the pitch beforehand and just misses that one. So with 2 outs now, brings up our right fielder for the Yardbirds, Ryan Woodrow.
Went down swinging Jackson Grounds. Let's see if Woodrow, batting in the 4th slot, can do anything with this.
It's a bit of an anomaly here. So 3 of the first 4 hitters for the Yardbirds tonight are all left-handers.
Yeah, I was just about to point that out. There's quite a lot of left-handers in the Yardbirds.
So
It's almost like they said, we'll just put them all on one team.
So Ryan here batting now is the only one that throws left-handed. Sam and Lachlan both throw right-handed. But yeah, 3 of the first 4 batters here left-handers. Bit of an anomaly.
What's that called when they're like dual-sided? Like when they're
Switch hitters and ambidextrous or whatever it's called.
I don't know.
Well, when they're lefties, a lot of money for left-handed pitchers in the USA and left-handed hitters as well. But it causes a little conundrum for coaching when you get up a bit higher.
Slice out. Is that inside?
No, foul ball down the line.
A right-handed pitcher throwing to a left-handed hitter is actually throwing to the inside, if you like, middle inside on the left-handed hitter, because of the angle of his arm going across, because they're used to throwing to a right-handed hitter on the outside edge. Well, it's harder for a right-handed pitcher to do that on a lefty, to throw outside. So
have you ever seen very many left-handed catchers? That's not a thing anymore, is it?
There is. I played with someone that was a left-handed catcher. I actually played with someone who was ambidextrous that could pitch and catch with both hands.
That's just showing off, really, isn't it?
In an oddity in Sydney, an under-16s representative team, they used a left-handed catcher in a big game.
Wow.
And that left-handed catcher I happen to be very close to. He's my son.
Oh.
He was only used for that one game in particular against this particular club. And quite a funny event, as much as the dugouts were reasonably close to home plate. And he heard the coach say to the players, if you get on first base, you're stealing second straight away. And if you get on second, you're going straight to third.
So he was ready.
He heard it.
He knew.
He thought, nah.
Oh, speaking of stealing,
so that was 3-2 count there.
He was stealing until it was a walk.
3-2 count there on Ryan with 2 outs. So Sam is moving on the pitch. We now have runners on first and second. With 2 outs, brings up the first baseman for tonight, Mr. Jay Myers. So shout out to all Jay's fans in the crowd if they're here again tonight, like in the stream last week.
Oh, I'll have to have a look. Yeah.
Jay is playing first base tonight, not catching
He
tonight.
had the most fans for sure. Absolutely.
So shout out to Ezekiel.
There we go.
That's why.
And Tiger gets that ground ball and plays the base himself for the 3rd out with a nice signal call there by our third base umpire, Braden West. That is the end of the innings. It is 0-0 as we go into the bottom of the 1st.
It's such a pity.
And just coming back now here into the bottom of the first inning, going through our lineup here. So, on the mound we have Ben Wormsley. Catching we have Jamie Fox for Lumberjacks. As mentioned there in the top of the first, Jay Myers playing first base tonight. At second we have Dom French. Shortstop for tonight is Lachlan Wilson. Daniel Turner is playing at third. In left field we have Sam Campion. In centre field, we have Max McCaw, and in right field, we have Ryan Woodrow. And our first batter of the innings is Kylan Pearce.
Good on you, Matt. I'll give you time to take some breath there. You just jogged up the stairs to jump straight back into the saddle again. Nice work. So we've had the table and we've got this game underway. We're in the bottom of the first innings here at Bannister Park in Hendra. And no score on the board as yet. The Yardbirds, as you just heard, have gone through 5 batters in the top of the inning. They left 2 runners stranded who both got on by walks, but no runs scored there. So when they come back to the plate in the top of the second innings, they'll lead off with Daniel Turner. And a good start there for pitcher Brian Humble for the Lumberjacks.
So Ben just throwing a couple of pitches wild here. And just as we're in the bottom of the first, here just going through our umpires for tonight. So on the dish, we have Carla Pinder. At first base, we have Michael Bates. And at third base, we have the lesser experienced West. We have Mr. Braden West over at third.
And not related to Tom West.
No. So shout out to Tom, who might be listening tonight.
And speaking of listening in, if you have any, you want to send your love and cheers to the players and, tell us any stories about them from their clubs or anything interesting, please make a mention, comments in below, and we'd love to hear them.
Yep.
If you're going for any of the particular players, let us know.
Tay's having a look at all of that on social media, so don't be afraid to tell us which team you're supporting or players or whatever, just as long as you're enjoying your baseball.
So Kylan draws the walk there, brings up the second batter. We have Liam O'Hay.
Oh.
And Ben's being a bit wild here, throws that pitch behind him, just needs to locate his pitches here.
Runner's gone on to second.
Just getting a dry ball out to him. Obviously, as we said there before, we had a little bit of light rain come through here while the clubs, the teams, in effect, were doing their infield, outfield. So a little bit dew on the field, so Ben just taking a bit of time here, needs to focus, slow down, and just locate that strike zone.
Yeah, a bit of moisture. Jamie Fox couldn't block that one. That allowed Kylan Pearce to move around easily to second base and into scoring position. Of course, the feature tonight is the new uniforms have arrived. You can see the Yardbirds out in the field in those nice resplendent blue uniforms. And of course the Lumberjacks with the bright yellow. And the blue and yellow, of course, relate to the Brisbane Bandits. So they're the colours of the Bandits. The other 2 teams that are playing tonight over at Carina, you'll find are wearing the colours of Baseball Queensland in reverse colours. I think the Assassins are black. Yeah, and maroon. And then the other is the maroon primary colour on the shirt.
Fantastic. That's a really great idea.
So that talks about the union of the 2 to create this Futures League, which is really good. I believe the team names, I did say I would mention them once they got their uniforms and we could talk about it. I did just mention that they're aligned with the Bandits and Baseball Queensland representative colours. The other thing I'm aware of is that the names of the teams were developed around a meeting of the powers that be and a think tank, if you like. And a runner goes back on a foul. A think tank sat up in an office and floated a few names around and came up with the names. We've got the Yardbirds and the Lumberjacks.
Yeah, it was a combination of some of the minor league teams that they went through and they sort of combined the 2 team names, and this is what they ended up choosing as the team. So we have a 1-ball 2-strike count here on Liam, with that runner still at second base. And Carlo brings him up there on the outside pitch. Ben just getting in there, so that is our first out of the innings. Brings up the third baseman, Jacob Nilsson.
We did talk about Jacob when we were doing the lineups, Matt, and he sort of holds down that third base position regularly, doesn't he? With most of the games that he's in, he very rarely moves away from third base. He's a renowned third baseman and very good at it. Walmsley having a good look in at the signals from Jamie Fox. I was here yesterday doing some work again, and I was wondering what was missing from this field. So I'm so used to the fields that I've been broadcasting from, being ABL, etc., and State League and GBL and all that sort of thing, and couldn't quite put my finger on it until I was down the first base side having a look, and I thought, I figured it out. There's 2 retired jerseys and numbers out on the outfield fence in centre field. There's no sight screen.
Yeah.
No big sight screen up above the fence, which I'm pretty used to these days. You don't get them on most local suburban fields, obviously. There is shade mesh between those jerseys, which is a semi or half sight screen, if you like, but normally go up about 20 feet.
Yeah, most of the local clubs here have some sort of black mesh on the back net there, just to offer a little bit of sighting for the batters behind the pitcher's eye. So Ben just missing inside there. We have a 1 ball 2 strike count, I believe. We have Clyland still at second base.
Yep.
Oh, no, 1-1. I missed a pitch. I had a pitch in. Braden West, my umpire friend out there, helped me out there. Wasn't signaling me the count, but I got the count.
Nice pitch.
Now it's 1 ball 2 strikes.
You were just out of the game.
I was.
Oh, look at the food coming up the middle of the grandstand. The schnitzel truck is back.
Yes, the schnitzel truck is back today.
If you live nearby or close enough, come down and watch the rest of the game and have a schnitty and chips. Bit of gravy on top of those and away you go. What a night. A night at the ball game.
And Jacob swings through that one. Gives us another strikeout there for Ben for the second out of the innings. And that brings up the catcher for the Lumberjacks for tonight. We have John Lem.
Goes down swinging, does Nilsson, but the superior pitching of Walmsley doing a very good job there.
So those on the bench will be quite busy tonight. As we mentioned with the due round, guys on the bench will be in charge of drying the balls, making sure that they are keeping in a safe condition.
And John Lem, who's stepping into the plate now, is leading the batting average with 667. He's also leading the on-base percentage with 750. That's pretty handy. And in the hitting leaders, he's had 4 hits. Low numbers. We've only had 3 games, obviously. Where else does he appear? He appears on a lot of these lists. He's had 2 doubles.
Just had a ball escape from down the bullpen. Carlos showing off for arm behind the mound, return that ball back to him. Carlos ready to go for next innings now, warming up himself there. And then we have a pitch come from the other side, from the other bullpen. So that's 2 balls from 2 blazing away, 1 from each bullpen. Just interrupting the play.
That might be the other thing missing from this ground, is enclosed bullpens.
So there is a screen down the left field line behind the bullpen, I believe. But today, there was last week, there was a screen behind the right field bullpen. There's no screen on there today for some reason. So you might see today that if the catchers aren't ready in the bullpen, you might see some pass balls come past from them. And Ben gets that first pitch in eventually there to John for a strike. Nice breaking pitch there.
I think the stats tell me that Ben Walmsley is leading the strikeouts with 7. Well, there's 3 pitchers in the league. The other Yardbirds pitcher, Miller Bell, he's got 7 strikeouts as well.
So Ben would have taken the lead tonight with those 2 strikeouts he's just gotten, so he'll be on 9 now.
Depending on the game that's over at Carina.
Well, Miller Bell might be...
Yeah, Miller's on the bench here, so he might be able to keep up with him later on tonight.
He might want to turn. And Oscar Hyde from the Jethawks has also got 7 strikeouts before tonight's games. And for the Lumberjacks, Dwayne Johansson has got 6. So let's see how tonight transpires with those stats.
So Ben just missing the outside corner there.
Yeah, I was just going to say, that's pretty close.
At least it's lefty on lefty here.
Oof. Not
And
slide.
Hop
John,
Goes foul.
Third baseman's trying to have a bit of a go before
Yeah,
it goes out.
way behind the third base dugout.
Yeah.
so that puts the count now at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Quick shout out to the BQ Baseball partners as well. The My Club live score software developed by Michael Sambelli in San Diego, California, and also Sports Club HQ, the membership and competition software from Jace Farmer on the Gold Coast.
So there's a link to the other game on the comments below that you can be watching the scores come in from the other game.
On live score.
Yeah, live score.
So John there hits that ball down the first base line.
No one there to
Nobody
throw it
home and there's a
to.
run scores.
Oh my gosh.
While they chase the runner to first, wide awake was Kalen Pierce. He's gone straight around, turned the corner at third and headed home for the first run of the game.
I think they're going to hear about that in the dugout.
Yeah, just a little bit of inexperience there from Jay. As I said there before, normally Jay's a catcher. Just got caught a bit there, no man's land coming for that ball. Whereas Ben had that ball covered as a pitcher. Did a good job getting over there, just near the first base and the mound, and then we got the out there. But instead, we now have a runner on first base, and brings up the DH for the Lumberjacks. We have Angelo Natali.
He had a really good hit that last game, didn't he? I think.
Yep. He, and one of the Natali brothers.
Oh,
The other
yeah,
one's in
sorry.
a different team.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be Angelo. We haven't seen the other brother here yet.
There was holes everywhere in that defence, wasn't there?
So Angelo fouls that first pitch off. So 1 strike count here.
Makes a mistake like that early in the game, though, is, getting used to each other playing and the positions that they don't usually play. So if there's younger people watching, see, it happens in all sorts of age groups, and then they tighten their game for the rest of the game and, prove themselves in other ways.
We're still only in the first inning.
That's right. Oh, he's going to pick him off.
I'm
That's
just
how he's going to do it.
Trying to work out how they would have scored that John Lem. I guess it's a single to first.
It'd be a single to the
Single to
pitcher.
three.
Single to the
Single to
pitcher.
one.
Because
he had the ball.
Pitcher picked it up.
Yeah.
And had no one to throw it to, so...
So yeah, Ben
It's
showing...
not actually an error, though, is it?
No.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Even though
Well, it's
the
not
coaches...
a fielder's choice either.
That's right. The coaches will tell them, he's just gone past the catcher.
It's just a bit wild there from Ben. Jamie couldn't keep it in front. So we have John Lem goes up to second base there now. So 2 balls, 1 strike here on Angelo with a runner in second base. So they can score another run here.
That's
That,
heads up,
that
mate.
pitch was quite wild. It was quite
It
wide.
was, yep.
Yeah, they catch a...
Heads up baseball.
Yeah, that's right.
There's always a debate between catchers and pitchers on where the mistake is in the scorebooks.
Yeah.
Because it goes against them one way or the other.
Yeah, that's right.
So
And
you'll
it did-
always find a catcher telling you that it's a wild pitch.
Yeah. He tried really hard to get out there, so it really wasn't on him, I don't think. See, you got that one. He wasn't letting that one pass.
Yeah, Ben just trying to find the outside corner. Just misses. That takes the count to 3 balls, 2 strikes with 2 out here.
Taking quite some time to get through this first inning, with the Yardbirds bringing 5 batters to the plate, and now the Lumberjacks with their 5th batter at the plate as well. Way outside. That walks Natali. Angelo Natali goes to first, and that is, I think, the 4th walk of the game. Each club issuing 2 walks in the first inning.
We've got mound walk now.
We have our coach. We have Brent Ellis coming out to the mound here, who's also one of our sponsors, so Ellis Electrical.
Handy.
There he is.
So we have a pitching change here. So obviously Brent's come out and got the ball off Ben. So obviously Ben just couldn't quite locate tonight. And our new pitcher coming on here is we have number 9, Declan Stevens.
I think with two runners on, they have to be very careful here, and they're trying their best to keep them at bay.
2 on, 2 out. So Ben Walmsley leaves the mound in the bottom of the first innings with a 2 out. Replaced by Declan Stevens. We'll be back in a moment.
Baseball. It starts with a glove and a ball. No matter where you start, where you play, or where the game takes you, you're still just playing ball.
What a moment for Luke Hughes. What a moment for Australia.
Join in the fun today. Visit baseball.com.au to find your local club.
And as we return, as I just mentioned there before, you would have just seen the screen roll past. They're getting the screen up to the bullpen down the right field line. So with Declan coming into pitch here, we have the first baseman, Josh Marriott, coming up to the plate with runners on first and second.
That was a nice solid pitch down through the middle there. One of the ones that you think, oh, damn it, I should have had a go at that.
Just leaves that pitch up a little bit. And we decided to also thought we'd mention for tonight. So obviously we have a additional camera in play tonight. So we have a camera down the third base line looking towards home plate. And you will notice that the home plate camera we have is behind the screen tonight. So you won't be able to see the fence through any of the cameras for tonight. So you have a little bit better viewing experience for everyone tonight. As Declan just throws that pitch high, we have a 2-ball, 1-strike count.
And I know that it's a bit wet out there tonight, but next Wednesday, if you're looking at doing something, come along to the game. We've got a few of these coming up. It's great for the kids to watch, and you know, there's food here, food trucks here all the time. And it's a great experience to kind of watch it live. And
And that ball just gets past Jamie there. So runners move up to second and third. And you're just tying in with Tay there. So Tay, sorry. Next week as well, if you can't get out here to All Stars or Carina, we also have our Junior League futures starting next Wednesday night. So they'll be playing at Mount Gravatt and at Southern Stars. And then next Friday night, we have our Senior League futures, so under 16 futures. They'll be starting on Friday night, playing at Mount Gravatt and at Runcorn Indians. So plenty of baseball coming up, different locations over the next week. As Josh grounds that ball to shortstop, Lockie Wilson makes a nice play. So we have no runs scored the inning there. So going into the top of the second innings, it is 1-0 to the Lumberjacks. And here we are coming back into the top of the second innings. Leading off for us here, we have the third baseman, Daniel Turner.
So Turner steps in now. We'll let Matt give his voice a little bit of a break. Not for very long though. Doing a great job, Matt. And that one fouled off into the back net. One thing I think I've mentioned earlier in some of the broadcasts, the size of the back nets here at Bannister Park, they are absolutely massive. And a car park down behind the right field side is the reason for some of that. And of course local housing and everything around us. So certainly baseballs can't get far out of this park except down the third base line or over the home run fence. Hit for right field now. Just lobs one out there, nicely located by Daniel Turner. Met the ball where it is, turned it on to right field side and unable to get to that one. Soren Branch, it was too far away. It's a well-positioned ball, well over towards that foul line down past the first base side. And certainly the second baseman, Tiger Sato, couldn't get there either. And he has got a runner at first anyhow, as does the shortstop they had to cover there. So
batting now, we have the catcher, we have Jamie Foxx.
Whoa, that's massive. Did he get it? Oh,
no, he hasn't. It's bounced
over
into the fence. He fell on his back. It just went behind him a little bit. A play at home plate.
Ooh.
No, there is not. The throw back goes inside. And catcher John Lem had to go halfway out to the pitching mound to get that one. So Daniel Turner, great base running. Turns the corner there really hard and scores a run for the Yardbirds. The first one on the board, and it ties this game up at 1 run each. So Turner with great base running there, and Jamie Foxx with a double. We could say ground rule double, but it is a natural double anyway. Even if, well, the only way that could have stopped was the catch.
Yeah, a little bit of a wind out there, so Liam got a bit stuck trying to get to that ball. So we have Dom French now in the box with a runner on second base.
So we give him a double to 7 for Jamie Foxx, and as Matt just said, Dom French steps in, the number 17, and I think most of the players didn't necessarily get to choose numbers. The shirts came in different sizes, so they got a shirt that fitted them, and the number fitted the lineup.
What's the batter's name that did the double again?
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx. That's a name to remember.
Famous name.
Yeah.
Not necessarily on the baseball field though.
And Dom just fouls that one back. So we have a 1 ball, 2 strike count here on Dom.
I think I remember Mark Reedy saying something about Jamie Foxx last time he saw him playing.
Maybe.
He had a decent hit that night too. There you go. He's got a bit of a run. Do you have a stat on Jamie Foxx from...
They're all here.
Yeah. Let's have a look.
On base percentage. Strangely, he's not showing up.
Oh, is that...
Yeah, so Dom's one of those players that Dom's pitches a little bit. I know he came in at the end of the game last week, I think, for a at-bat appearance. So he might not have had too many at-bats to be on the stats there. And Byron gets a great curveball in there to the strikeout on Dom. So with one out now, we have our number 9 hitter, Max McCaw, who has sourced a jersey now. So Max is currently wearing number 19. Because when I went to get the numbers earlier, Max did not have a jersey on.
I must have heard you.
And did not say he had one. So it's good to see he's found a jersey now. So Max is in there as number 19.
Just looking for the perfect fit.
It looks slightly big for him, so maybe it's a...
He took a check swing on that one and called on the outside edge by umpire Carla Pinder, doing another great job again. Top of the second innings, 1-1 the ball game here from Bannister Park.
This pitcher's doing a fantastic job, really. He's really getting them to
We had a good first inning.
Just goes to show you that it needs to be overpowering to get the outs there. So as Byron gets a strikeout there on Max for the second out of the innings, We go back to the top of the order, and we have our shortstop, Lockie Wilson from Redcliffe, coming up to bat.
He certainly drew the swing out there of McCaw, didn't he? Got him swinging and tempted him. But 2 out now with 1 run scored. A runner in scoring position at second base is Jamie Fox, with Wilson at the plate.
And they really need this run too to really kind of keep it in there.
Yeah, nice and tight.
Even if this batter got on base, it would make a big difference.
The
really.
1 versus 4 game. Interesting on the statistics on the website. ERA leaders, there's 10 players listed and they've all got an ERA of 0.
Oh, right, that's helpful.
Most of those guys probably threw 1 or 2 outs last week, I'd say. Up
it goes. Well,
there's a
gone.
man out
Out
there,
of the
left
light.
field side. He's got it, no problem whatsoever for Liam O'Hay. O'Hay got under that one. It was in a bit closer, in a bit more light.
Yeah, actually it went out of the light for a little bit, didn't it? And then it came back in again.
Fly ball to position 7 brings up the 3rd out on Lachlan Wilson for the Yardbirds. But not until after they've scored a run in the top half of the 2nd innings. The score remains a 1-1.
And here we go now, coming into the bottom of the 2nd innings. And we have Tiger Saito coming up to bat with Declan Stevens still on the mound.
Stevens, of course, came in with 2 outs in the previous inning. So he's relatively fresh. He was only out there to get the 1 out, the 3rd out. The 3rd out in that previous inning was Josh Marriott grounding out to shortstop. We're now in the bottom of the 2nd, leading off Tiger Saito. He'll be followed to the plate by Beckham Crooks.
He's got an interesting batting stance with his high wave up on the, up above his head. Is he Korean? No?
I believe he's Japanese.
Oh, okay.
With Saito.
Saito, okay. Yep. So that's Hayo gozaimasu. If anybody's watching, that's hello in Japanese.
We have a check swing, a peel there, and first base umpire Michael Bates gets the call and says that Tiger swung at that. We have a 1 ball, 2 strike count.
Guilty,
now.
Your Honour. He did swing at that ball. So how much Japanese do you know, Tay?
Only enough to say hello, thank you, and goodbye. I can say it in most languages. Hello, thank you, and goodbye.
Okay.
So I'll have to see each player.
Hello to each one and
the
goodbye
different
to each
ones.
one.
Absolutely. Actually, there's a really fantastic player in the Baseball Queensland team, women. Her name is Shiori.
Yep.
And she's from Japan. She has a family in Japan that watches all of her games that I film. And her nickname is Boss. And so when she comes up to bat, I'm like, Ichi ni Shiori. Go Boss. So I'm going to have to get something together for Tiger. I think I have to put something
you'll
together.
have to work it out.
Yeah,
but you will have noticed, though, that a lot of Japanese players, they are coached when they're very young to have a slightly different stance and hands up high.
And if you've ever seen any YouTube footage of Japanese baseball games, it's insane. They have music playing 100% of the time, yelling and screaming from the
What about
stands.
the plastic blow-up inflatable
Lots of
clapping
things
sticks?
They throw.
Same as in the Korean leagues.
Yeah,
Also, in the Taiwan as
amazing.
well. Yeah, seeing some.
Well, Tiger drew a walk and he's up there at first base, so something worked for
Go
him.
Tiger!
And we have Beckham Crooks here at bat now with none out, the runner on first base. Declan just a little wild there in that first at bat of the innings. And gets that outside corner call there from Carla. That is strike 1 on Beckham.
I don't know if you saw any footage of Dae-Sung Koo pitching in the ABL. His unusual pitching style, being from Korea and just a fabulous guy, but a magnificent baseball player.
Well,
But bring the house down when he comes in to close a game.
for sure.
But his pitching stance starts with him almost with his back to the batter.
Yeah.
So
Wow,
if
insane.
he was pitching here, you would be looking at the number on his back.
Wow.
That's where he starts.
Such
from.
a big twist.
Yep, and you can't see anything coming out of his hand till it
Amazing.
leaves his hand, and then it's too late.
Well, one of my favourite Japanese players is in the MLB is Otani. He's one of the biggest home runners and also a pitcher
Yeah.
for the Angels. So he's one of my favourite players in the MLB.
And a high pitch there from Declan. We have a stolen base there by Tiger. So we have a 2 ball, 1 strike count on Beckham with Tiger over at second base now.
It's halfway down. Look how far down he is.
Lumberjacks putting a bit of pressure on there. And
I think the
Crooks
catch is onto him though. Oh, foul ball.
down to the first base dugout, bounces back off the fence to first base, fielded by the coach.
Rodney Watson as the first base coach there. I believe that's Rodney there.
You got 3 fences in the way there.
It's hard. There's
And
fences,
poles.
there's cords. He's wearing a skull cap. It's hard to tell.
General shape.
Could be Jared Long. They both have similar body types.
Like, you're gonna get in trouble for that.
You reckon
know
they're
that.
grazing in a good paddock?
At
Is that
least
what you're saying, Matt?
At least one of them is gonna get upset with you for that.
They need to throw because one of them's left-handed, one of them's right-handed. So if you can throw that ball back to the pitcher, I'll tell you which one it is.
Yeah. How's your arm, Matt?
Yeah, I'm good. So we're finally out of the sling.
Oh, there you go. You'll be out there playing soon.
Not quite. Still got quite a while of rehab to go with that. So on the rehab now, on the strengthening exercises, hopefully start doing some physio in that next couple of weeks, and then get the okay to sort of come back and start my throwing
Got
program.
the elastics going.
Mm.
Whole
Yeah,
lot.
being my throwing arm, the first step of them, but yeah, building the strength back up, and then starting my throwing program, getting some strength, being able to throw the ball again.
Will you be able to pitch after that?
Never would have pitched before, so it don't make a difference.
You should ask the doctor, will you be able to pitch after that? And if he says yes, say, well, that's great, I couldn't pitch before.
So that's our second walk now in a row.
That is Jared Long at first base coach because he threw that ball right-handed. So there you go.
There you go. Now you know.
There used to be an American Express ad. Mr. Long, you've forgotten your traveller's checks.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think anybody uses them anymore.
So yeah, so Jared Long is the teacher in charge at Robina State High School for their baseball program down there. So
Amazing field.
we have
down
two. Yeah, so they've got the field now. So we actually have
Fantastic.
2 of the Baseball Excellence School head teachers here on the field at the moment. So we have Jay Myers at first base coach. Sorry, at first base. And then we have Jared Long at first base coach. So 2 of the excellent schools for baseball we have here in Queensland. two of the coaches are out on the field right now.
And Tay, you just mentioned that field just opened recently.
Yeah,
brand
it's
new,
amazing.
brand new baseball field.
Beautiful. I saw it from a drone footage and I was so jealous that it's at Robina and not anywhere near us. we'll end up
Doesn't
going
take
at some
long
point.
to get there. It's only an hour. Soren Branch at the plate now for the Lumberjacks.
Declan just being a little wild here with his pitching. Have a 2-ball count. So corner infielders are fielding in here, maybe expecting a bunt. And we have a strike pitch on the outside corner there, scored by Carla.
Now Yardbirds are really going to have to concentrate on locking these runs down so they don't let any others through. Because it's just a little bit too scary when they get these in.
None out, bottom of the second inning. 2 walks issued so far by Stevens, and he's not doing well in the count here so far.
I think he needs to slow down a bit. He's rushing through it a bit, isn't he? His pitch.
Just got to get his rhythm. He did come in the middle of that, towards the end of the first inning, which is not ideal. He probably hadn't had the opportunity to warm up sufficiently, which could be one reason, and another walk. So loaded bases from walks.
The catcher's gone out. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, catcher's gone out. He saw the coach coming.
So that is assistant coach for the team. We have Mr. Jamie Knight out there on the mound for the visit.
There's a pitcher been warming up for quite some time now, and he's just been told to get back up on the mound and heat it up and keep throwing. Get yourself warm.
So if you can see the footage there, you can see Jamie Knight just explaining with Declan. It seems like he's falling away with his pitches. So Jamie Knight giving some tips on suggestions of how he can try and fix up and help his location on these pitches.
Great camera shot there from Rodney Reed down the third base side, up on the scaffolding.
You probably lip read from that angle.
Lovely night, nice cold air. He's got his nice warm jacket on, and I think he's got a comfortable seat out there as well, which is good.
I think we might need to buy him a drink though by the end of the night.
Certainly got no cover.
That's for sure.
So coming up here with loaded bases and none out, we have Kylan Pearce, leadoff hitter for the Lumberjacks.
Are you thinking brandy?
Something like that. I think he is.
Pitch one just outside there, so first ball here on Kylan.
So how many viewers are going for the Lumberjacks and how many viewers are going for the Yardbirds? I'd love to know. Haven't had very many comments yet.
Not
Gosh,
many.
we need to get a move on, guys, if you're watching.
They're engrossed in the game. We've had excellent numbers of viewers during the first couple of weeks of this broadcast. And
The first one's over 1,200
Yep.
views.
We're glad to be able to bring you these games. It is often hard to get out in midweek for people that are working and have long days and have to get up in the morning, so it's good. Of course, everybody can't travel from the distance that some of the players have to come from.
That looked like a good pitch.
So family and friends and generally baseball supporters having a look. I know there's lots of people from Pine Hills area looking in.
For sure,
on a
it's a
regular
long
basis.
drive down.
Not from Pine Hills.
No.
Oh, sorry, not Pine Hills. What am I talking about? I did say Pine Hills, didn't I? I meant Pine Hills Baseball Club, not Pine Hills, if you know what I mean.
So we have a 3-ball 1 count here on Kylan. So Declan just again struggling to locate his pitches here. 3-ball 1 strike count. Throwing a few walks here, assuming Kylan's going to be taking this pitch.
What's their park? James
Drysdale Reserve.
Yep.
Multi-complex facility.
A run walked in.
Tiger comes in at home. Go Tiger! Rah. I have to come up with a better call than that.
Yes. Let me think about that.
And out comes Brent Ellis taking the ball here off Declan. Going to have a new pitcher coming into the game, which we will announce after we come back from this pitching change. And as we return here, we have the new pitcher on the mound for the Yardbirds. We have Cuffin Williams coming onto the mound here in replace of Declan Stevens.
And interesting part of the game here with loaded bases still from walks, basically. That's a dangerous time for the Yardbirds. They need to get their defence going. Maybe Huff and Williams can change things around. We're in the bottom of the second inning with only one out.
And we have Liam O'Hay in the batter's box here for the Lumberjacks. Cuffin gets a nice called strike there on his first pitch.
Do you think some of the guys are actually going almost on pitch count?
Yeah.
Because they are getting too high, aren't they?
There is a pitch count per innings as well for these guys. There is a maximum pitches that can be thrown just sort of to keep the game rolling over. You don't get to blow out innings. So we might be getting close to that in this innings. With a couple of walks coming off here.
I think I mentioned the schnitzel truck is out here again tonight.
Yeah, I was hoping that there's be some left over.
Well,
so we can have some.
I know she's got plenty going there.
Yum.
So
It
maybe
looks
we
good
could
coming up
maybe
the steps.
we could take it in turns.
Tag.
2 voices on, somebody at the schnitty truck. Nick's not hungry.
Oh, I thought it was on, but it wasn't.
A little bit of a shaky camera there as the ball and catcher went back to the back net, and we've got a camera attached to that. So any movement will give that a little bit of a reel along.
The catcher and the pitcher are right on that one. They didn't want to let that go past. So that was good.
2 ball, 2 strike count here on Liam. Cuffin trying to get the first out of the innings.
So there's specific rules with the pitchers. Each pitcher may throw a maximum of only 45 pitches per game. So this means that they can also pitch in their local club games on the weekends, and it saves their arms. Each pitcher may throw a maximum of 25 pitches per inning. So that's why you have multiple pitches being changed in.
Yeah, that's why Walmsley went and Stevens has gone, obviously, for
sure.
about the same reason, if not very, very close to that count.
Yeah, absolutely. If they're getting full count for every single batter, it's that's what's going to happen. All relief pitchers must have had the opportunity to warm up in the bullpen.
Nice work.
So that's why they'll be out there.
So line drive down third, or did that bounce?
Oh,
Play at home,
Oh.
and he's got him cold.
What?
He's looking for the call.
He's trying to pull it off that he...
So we have the out being made there at first base. So we have to throw across the diamond, and then a heads-up play there by the defense. Get the second out at home.
It
So
really
we
could have been
have
a rundown play.
That
there.
was Soren Branch at home, and Liam O'Hay at first.
Yes. So we have 1 runner now on second base. We had a run scoring on that play, I believe.
Beckham Crooks.
So it now becomes a 3-1 game with Jacob Nielsen in the box here with 2 outs.
And that should be Kalen Pearce
Kylan,
at second.
yep.
Oh, nice
Another
little-
one drops in.
And Lachlan stays back on that ball, gets the nice short hop, and gets the 3rd out of the innings with that play across the diamond. Jay making a catch for the 3rd outs.
Yep, 6-3 play there, and Wilson doing a good job getting that across to his first baseman, Jay Myers. And after 2 completed innings here from Bannister Park, it is the Yardbirds 1 run, trailing the Lumberjacks by 3 runs.
Baseball. It starts with a glove and a ball. No matter where you start, where you play, or where the game takes you, you're still just playing ball.
What a moment for Luke Hughes. What a moment for Australia.
Join in the fun today. Visit baseball.com.au to find your local club.
And as we come back here, we have a new pitcher on the mound here. We have, replacing Byron Humble, we have Josh Paolo. So in the top of the third here, we have Sam Campion coming up to bat.
Oof, nice slice, foul ball. I've been training the rookies at before the rain, before driving over.
Okay.
And, you know, it's always very encouraging for them to get a good foul ball because you know that they've got their eye almost there.
They're still watching, still paying attention.
Yeah. And that they're, you know, the next hit's probably going to be right on because they've got the timing almost right.
So ball just getting in the strike zone there. We have 2 strikes here on Sam Campion.
So as you probably saw the commercial that's come up in between innings of baseballqueensland.com.au, you can still sign up to play in your local club nearby. You can go there and have a look for the closest club to you and what age groups you can play in. And they're doing sign-ups now. We've just started starting to sort out the teams now for the season. And it's all getting a bit exciting now.
Things are starting to open up again, isn't it?
Yes.
Community sport. Get it going.
It's fantastic.
I hate this time of year for me. Too much stuff to deal with, and draws and rule updates and competition stuff. So
Yep.
just need the season to start, and my job gets a lot easier.
All happening, isn't
And the
it?
batter's at full count now, isn't it?
It is a full count on Sam here.
Oh, he's so confident with that.
This is inside low.
Trying to sell that to the umpire.
I'll tell you what, it was pretty close though.
I think it was a bit low, that one, from my angle anyway. Probably should look at the shot on the
Wow.
cameras. It's a better angle.
I would have been scared enough to hit that. Anyway.
Well, you got to make contact. If it's inside and it's going to be a ball, you got to make contact or at least foul it off.
Yeah, look at him, he's ready to run. He needs to make up those 2 runs.
Jackson Grounds, designated hitter, steps in. Formidable figure of the number 13, young Jackson Grounds. He's been working pretty hard, I believe, in the off-season. So he's got a runner on. Good time to convert. He struck out in his first appearance tonight, but that was against the pitching of Brian Humble. Now Josh Paolo fresh to the mound, so it's a good opportunity for Grounds to make his mark and get this team going for the Yardbirds. Outside.
So 3 balls here on Jackson as Johnny Lem, the catcher, calls time, goes out and talks to his pitcher.
John Lem's got a good head on his shoulders, hasn't he, for a catcher?
Mm.
I always find that some catchers are just as good as assistant managers, really, when they really kind of pull the team in and pull the catcher.
When you go and watch some of
in.
those movies where they just tell pitchers they're not supposed to think.
They shouldn't.
As soon as they do, they start
Pitchers are
getting
not
in their
allowed
head.
to think.
It's that and batters. Once you start thinking about it, you start,
That's
know.
right. Catcher tells you where to throw the ball, just throw it there.
Yeah.
And that is a 4-ball walk there for Jackson. Puts runners on first and second and brings up our right fielder, Ryan Woodrow.
Back-to-back walks there by Paolo.
A lefty coming in, and seeing he's been throwing over that side of the plate, it might actually work for him for this.
Yeah, well, if he makes an adjustment to come away from that outside edge on the right-handed hitters and comes back to the middle, then it could favour Woodrow. Woodrow, of course, pretty handy with the stick.
So just missing there from Josh.
We're looking through the stats and we're trying to find the names.
Yeah, don't
on
tell
there.
everybody. Yeah, I just made a bold statement, didn't I? Can't find Woodrow in the stats anywhere. Nice one, Harrow.
So Ryan's
It's only 3 games in.
Ryan's one of those players that's been playing Division 2 last couple of years and has made his way into Division 1 side over at Pine Hills recently. So his bat has been getting better. I'll back Harrow up and give him some support here. His bat's been getting better.
Get me out of that hole, man.
So again, all the bats here are wooden bats, aren't they?
Yes.
Yep. So just It hits it well, but it's just not the same as the aluminium bats. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, well, once you get up into the pro ranks, you don't use metal anymore.
Yeah,
So
they'd go
that's why
forever, wouldn't they?
They get them ready for it. Well, it's dangerous.
Yeah, for sure.
When you get pitchers throwing in the 90s up to 100, you hit that with a metal bat, it's going to go through.
You won't see it. You won't see
Yep.
it coming, will you?
Yep.
It'll just hit you in the head.
So just being told here that Josh Pallow also plays outfield quite well for the current pitcher. So it's not just a pitcher. Someone that can play the outfield.
Oh, no.
And Ty gets a really bad hop there.
And I was just going to comment on Paolo did a good job staying away from that ball, coming back towards him. He did a good thing to leave it alone for the outfielder to get the infielder to get a good view of.
Yeah, Tiger just got a bad hop there. Couldn't keep the ball. Kept the ball in front of him though.
Yeah.
So kept the runner at third base. So we have
Good
loaded
stop.
bases here, and we have the first baseman Jay Myers coming up.
Good lesson for the kids to learn watching that play. Even though Tiger didn't get the ball, he had his body behind it and knocked it down, and that stops the runner from getting another base.
Absolutely. And now that's loaded bases. Is that right?
Yes.
Single to 4 or error 4?
Single to 4. You can't error that.
Too hot to handle.
You can't error. Yeah.
It was fast. It was a bad bounce.
I'd know scorers would error me if I made that play, but that's not an error.
It's always a debatable point, actually.
Yeah, that should be a base hit there. But yeah.
We just call it
It
too
had
hot
some
to handle.
decent speed on it, didn't it? That one.
And the unusual
Yeah.
kick.
Yeah, some of the scorers might be listening that know me well. Yeah, I've been errored on a similar play than that.
Pop up. First
And
baseman's
it's
got that one. Josh Marriott takes that cleanly in foul territory.
So we have one out now, and our third baseman comes up to the box. We have Daniel Turner.
Foul fly
So-
ball to position 3 brings up the first out.
Daniel Turner has got some,
Yep. Batting average of 500.
and he's now shown it.
High fly
Up it
ball,
goes.
left side, runners tag up. Runner at third goes back. He couldn't beat that throw.
Fantastic throw. Who's that out at left field?
Liam O'Hare in left field is quite well known through the club ball ranks here for being a quite strong outfielder.
That was a decent throw from left field to almost catcher.
Runner
Yeah,
at third,
like-
Sam Campion. He just couldn't get a jump on that, and even when he did, he was called back straight away because he wasn't going to beat that arm of O'Hare.
That's
So-
a decent hit too, but unfortunately he really just placed it not quite right.
So this is our catcher coming up to the box now, Jamie Foxx, who hit a deep fly ball to left field for a run-scoring double in his last at-bat.
Certainly did. Still loaded bases though.
Oh.
Oh, beats third baseman.
So third base is erred, and he bounced up on a backhand catch.
That was good play. Good play by the Yardbirds.
So we have 2 runs scoring on that play.
They really
So-
needed that, so
So-
that's keeping
So
them in the
Fox stands at first base, and Woodrow, I think,
Yes.
still at second. He went back, came round the corner and went back. They scored 2. They scored Sam Campion and Jackson Grounds.
So we now have Dom French, the second baseman, batting here with runners on first and second with 2 outs. As first pitch on him is up. Just been told, so for Josh and the man here, I've been told a slider is one of his better pitches. So if he can get a couple of those in here, get a strikeout here on Dom. Just missing down there, so it moves to 2 ball counts. So there's some good base running there from both runners. So you had the runner from from second base, reading the ball, stopping, and then scoring on the play. And then you also had Ryan, who's now on second base, going round the base, watching the ball, and then getting back to second base to not get caught in no man's land there.
Great work. And, of course, that hit that came off third baseman Jacob Nilsson out there, rebounded off him and headed for the fence. And it was Liam O'Hare again who got across and retrieved that to get it back.
And Dom draws a 4-pitch walk there as John calls time, and out comes Coach Phil Overlack to have a chat to Josh.
So the score now is
3-3.
wow.
It's all tied up. Yardbirds charging back into the game in the top half of the inning.
Yeah. And with loaded bases, I can see why they're being very defensive about their pitches.
Yeah, well, they've had loaded bases against them a couple of times. So they're fighting well, the Yardbirds.
And our new pitcher coming in here is we have number 11, Jacob Walker. We'll be right back once he's shown his warm-up pitches. And as we come back here in the top of the third, new pitch on the mound in Jacob Walker, we have Max McCaw in at the box, who fouls that first pitch back. So we have loaded bases and 2 out here.
I think this pitcher has a far faster velocity from the last one. So I think that they've definitely brought in the heavy guns for the loaded bases, which is good.
We've got Woodrow at third base, Jamie Fox at second, and Dom French at first base. So good base runners, but we've got the Lumberjacks putting up some pretty strong defence. There's a comebacker. It goes to Tiger, and that will be an out at second place. A 4-6. It's from second base to shortstop.
Go Tiger!
4-6 out brings up the third out, and that was it 1 pitch for Jacob Walker or 2?
That was 3 pitches.
3 pitches for Jacob Walker, and he gets that third out, and that was a 4-6 ground out. 3 out now, top of the third, halfway through the third. The scores are locked at 3-3.
Baseball. It starts with a glove and a ball. No matter where you start, where you play, or where the game takes you, you're still just playing ball.
What a moment for Luke Hughes. What a moment for Australia.
Join in the fun today. Visit baseball.com.au to find your local club.
And as we just come back here, just so I'd give an update, the live scoring is up for the other game. I have the score as 4-3. The Jethawks leading the Assassins in the bottom of the third innings. We still have Cuffin Williams here on the mound, and we have John Lem coming into the batter's box.
We were just saying that Cuffin Williams is a Welsh name, even though it sounds like something from Harry Potter. But, yeah, something
Well, that
nearby.
stacks up.
Yeah, of course. I think that's a Welsh castle, isn't it?
It's a castle, that's enough.
That's for
It's
sure.
in the United Kingdom.
Somewhere there.
First pitch just outside there on John.
So John Lem stepping in there. We're at the bottom of the third inning.
So John Lem is at the top of the batting average league at .667.
Yeah, 667.
I don't think I've seen one that high before.
His on base percentage is 750.
Unbelievable.
So 667 and 750. He's going all right. Hitting leaders, he leads the hits with 4. After this is after 2 weeks. Don't forget.
3. This is this
This is the third
after
one.
2.
This is
Yeah,
only
yeah,
up
for
to
sure.
2. So
Yeah.
yeah, he's going okay. One might say.
Yeah. What did he do earlier in the game?
He got a single to the pitcher. That's the one where a pitcher had no one to throw to at first.
Right,
They'd
yeah.
all headed out for the ball.
So he's about due for a good hit.
They were otherwise occupied.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So 3 ball, 1 count. 3 ball, 1 strike count here on John. And Cuffin is that one up. Gives us a lead-off walk. Puts a runner on first.
That's a warm-up
And
batter.
brings up our DH for tonight, Angelo Natali.
I think it's actually a bit of a relief, probably for a pitcher like that John didn't get a good hit off him. So
You're probably right.
Not such a bad thing for him to get a walk.
A lot of walks in tonight's game from both sides. Surprising. Considering that we've done well rain-wise,
Yeah, for
it
sure.
did obviously go all around us with just a very light sprinkle here. We were so lucky. The baseball gods were smiling on Bannister Park.
Cuffin just missing on that first pitch there on Angelo. A few groans from the crowd. It's a close pitch, but Carla called it a ball. So the ball it was. And a snap throw there from Jamie Fox, trying to get John off the base there at first, but John was aware of it and got back in time.
Good throw though.
Good to see. It's good to see. A little variation.
Keeping him honest.
So 2 balls, 1 strike now on Angelo.
Nicely located. Misses the outside edge. Could not have missed by much. I should be watching my own cameras instead of looking out the window, shouldn't I?
You get a closer view.
And that breaking pitch there was called a strike by Carla. So we have a 3 ball, 2 strike count here on Angelo.
Who's going to be the first to break and go for a schnitzel?
And we have a balk called there on Cuffin by first base umpire Michael Bates, which pushes Johnny Lem over to second. Cuffin's asking what he did, as Michael explains the balk to him.
Yep. They might have to stand closer together, I think, because he's asking for clarity. He's been provided that clarity by Michael Bates. No doubt.
I think he was in a bit of disbelief then.
The Michael Bates fan club from last week could be happy with that one. Michael getting a call there on the balk.
Oh, slice out.
Little bit of a foul tip there. Keeps himself alive, Angelo Natali. And that score line coming from the other game between the Assassins and the Jethawks, of course, they're both 1 win and 1 loss each. So tonight is the tiebreaker for second and third place. Chops one into the ground down tight third base side to go foul.
So just as you mentioned that, so the score is, it is now 5-4 to the Assassins. So the Assassins just scored 2 runs in the bottom of the third. So it is 5-4 Assassins in the top of the fourth
Oh,
now.
another battle royal over there. That's good.
Indeed, yes.
Good for the game.
So still 3-2 here on Angelo.
I have to say, for the top of the board and the bottom of the board, this game is actually quite close.
Yep. Oh, rips it down the third
It is
base
fair.
line. Turned on that one, Natali.
He's
Turns
running.
around first base and a run crosses the line again. Great rip by Natali.
So
Picked
John
that one
Lem
out.
comes home.
Lem crosses for that go-ahead run. It's 4-3 now, the score line in the bottom of the third inning. They get the go-ahead, and Natali, though, a double to left field side. Quick hands. Turned on that and kept it fair inside third base.
And we have the first baseman, Josh Marriott, now coming into the box with Angelo replacing John at second base now after that run scoring double. Still have this runner in scoring position.
He put that one almost right down the middle of the strike zone then did Cuffin Williams.
So just a bit of an information here on Josh. So while Josh is here, 2 of his siblings have recently joined up with the armed forces. I've seen the post going around. So 2 of his siblings are currently down in Canberra, I believe.
Yeah, righto.
Joining up in the armed forces. So if they're listening,
Going through training.
if they're listening,
It's probably a little bit of a snappy cold one down there at the moment too.
yes.
So
Hello to Nick and Sophie if you're listening.
best to them. Send you some hot chocolates in our thoughts.
So Marriott,
Calls time there, steps out of the box. Carla gives it to him.
he just had to hold his arms up just a little bit too long there.
So 2 strikes on him here. See if he can fight and keep this ball in play.
Oh. Danger, danger. That ball went to the back net, but a short back net, and the ball bounced off the rubberised base and came back a little bit quicker than the runner at second thought. Angelo Natali, he was getting prepared to steal third, but thought better of it. Kept himself safe at second and locked it all in. Marriott steps back in again. Williams offers up a pitch that's a bit too high.
So 2 balls, 2 strikes now on Josh. Still have that runner in scoring position with none out.
Do you reckon in the Natali family it's a bit competitive with the 2 brothers playing on different teams?
Like to be at the breakfast table.
And
Guess-
Josh squeezes that ball through the middle. Neither Dom or Lockie can get that ball up the middle. And that is another run scoring there on the single to centre field.
Natali turns third base, crosses home plate. So another run added to the tally of the Lumberjacks with Marriott standing safely at first. I really don't know how they got through the middle. Went straight over the bag, didn't it?
Are we back to Tiger?
We are back to Tiger.
Yay, Tiger! Rah!
That's not hello in Japanese.
Ohayou gozaimasu. Agenki desu ka? And then they'll all yell at me for saying it really badly.
Can you count in Japanese?
1, 2, 3, 4.
What's the
Go,
count? What's the
Roku.
pitch count?
Oh, I don't know. That's all too hard. Itchy?
You
I don't
need
know.
to- you
Actually, I
need to
don't know
what
zero.
zero is.
Yeah, I'm not. I have to learn that by next week. Okay.
You know the numbers, but not
All
zero.
right. Tiger, I need some help. I'll come down to the dugout and ask you some questions, and then ask about
Because it
zero.
is a 1-0 the count, I believe.
Yes,
It is one
that's
of them,
right.
yes. Another ball up there from Cuffin. Just losing a bit of control here. Needs to settle down, take his time here, get that ball into the zone.
Of course, Marriott moved across to second
On the pass ball there
during
before,
all
yes.
of that. Yep. Soto waits again. As you said, arms up high.
Nice sort of round swing.
Well, he has
I
his
like it.
shoulder
Yes.
closed, his
Is
lead
that
shoulder
what it is?
closed in a little.
Yeah.
So 3 balls here on Tiger. You assume he's going to be taking this next pitch in a 3-0 count.
It's one of the things you get with a lot of the kids when they're learning to bat. They'll come up and they'll open their shoulders up, and that's where they're missing the ball, and they bring the bat around off the ball.
Jared Long at first base, coach doing his job as equipment manager, holding 4-piece equipment in his hands. Going to dump it off to the dugout now while we're calling time here. As Jamie Fox goes out to the mound. Have a chat here with Cuffin.
They think he's a cloakroom. Can I check my glove here? Can I check my helmet here? Whatever. Gloves.
He's used to, he's a teacher. Amount of stuff we get left in classrooms.
You must be enjoying the holiday though, and Monday's a public holiday. I just remembered that today.
He will be.
Yeah.
I'm not teaching you. I'm back at university, but yeah,
Oh, yeah.
he'll be enjoying that.
Yeah. So all the mums out there that are watching the players, Monday is a public holiday. Don't take the kids to school on Monday.
So ball 4 there on Tiger. As we have a mound visit coming out here, we have Brent Ellis, coach, coming out to talk to Cuffin as we have runners on first and second.
I'm not quite sure what his pitch count is, but
Brent's taking the ball there off Cuffin,
Yeah.
as we'll take a short break here and be back with the new pitching chains in a second. And as we come back here in the bottom of the third, we have runners on first and second with our new pitcher on the mound. We have Jackson Grounds coming in from DH, and we have Beckham Crooks coming up to bat. And just another thing mentioning for people that are unaware, so obviously we have both the under 16 and the under 18 state titles this weekend. So if you're looking for some baseball, the under 18 state titles, which start on Friday, are being played at West Darra.
yeah.
Under 16
go
state
West.
titles are played at Redlands at Sheldon. As Jamie just misses that first pitch there from Jackson's ball on the outside, runners move up to second and third. They 1-0 count here on Beckham.
So will most of these players be at the state titles?
No. So there'll be a couple of them here that are playing the under 18s, but most of these players are over 18.
Okay, there you go.
Beckham Crooks at the plate.
So you can see the infielders are now playing in a close game here with runners on second, third with none out. They were trying to keep the runners where they are on a ground ball to the infield.
He's got the super striped up helmet. Young Mr. Crooks. Let's see what Jackson Grounds can offer up. Working with his catcher Jamie Fox still behind the plate there. Calling the game for him. So some of the crowd have been and gone. Some have moved around. Some others have arrived.
I'm glad they put the umbrella down in front of us, so that's handy. We can now see the umpire.
For the
Yeah, Mr. Scott got a good laugh and I went and asked him to move the umbrella over. I said, you can stay there, but I'll just be annoyed because I can't see Carla, so I can't see what the strike is. So 2 balls and 2 strikes here on Beckham.
So I just wonder.
And he gets a called strike 3 there from Carla for the first out of the innings.
He definitely thought that was going to be a walk.
Gone looking.
He was He was starting to take his gloves off to go for a run, but no.
Absolutely, yep. Took the odds to it, but Grounds was able to get the outside edge nicely on that front corner. And that brings to the plate Soren Branch. It's the outside edge again, so he's got that strike called, so he's just going to keep working it while he can.
Infield still playing in here, obviously with one out now. He can still keep that runner close third. Don't give up another run here.
And Branch's foot position in the batter's box there, I think, led Grounds to go the outside again because he's back a little and he's a bit open in his stance. And goes swinging again. Grounds gets a bonus. Swing and a miss.
He's starting to warm up now.
Well, I was just going to say, with the conditions the way they are, it is a colder night.
Absolutely.
So it takes a lot more to warm up. Even though they go to the bullpen and throw, they've really got to throw quite hard to get warm enough to get out in the game situation.
And with a little bit
gets
of chill.
that called as well. Sits
Well
him
done.
down. Well done, Jackson Grounds. Branch goes down. He went down looking, I think, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Yep.
So we have runners on second, third here with 2 out, which takes us back to the top of the order for our centre fielder, Kylan Pearce.
Another lefty.
Kylan playing at Carina last season.
Oh,
Assuming
Kylan.
he'll be back there again this season. Sorry, Tay.
I was about to say, Kylan has a batting average of 500 from the stats here.
Yep.
First pitch just down there from Jackson.
On base percentage of 600, so he's quite handy, one might say.
And being at the top of the order, you'd probably think that too. So he's got a good track record so far. It's all about keeping that track record, though, isn't it? Right?
Well, stats. Baseball is a game of stats and a game of inches. But you got to get those stats up.
As one movie said, it's a game of failures.
Well, it
learn
is.
how
If
to fail less,
you look
but
at
it's
what
a
a
game of failures.
good batting average is, if you're batting over 300 at a reasonable level of baseball, you're doing pretty good, which means you can fail 70% of the time and still have a good record.
Absolutely.
That's why they use that terminology, and you go, what? That's the thing with kids that are coming through. They want to hit everything. They want to be safe with everything they hit. They've got to understand it doesn't work that way. Sometimes you're hitting for your teammates that are already on base.
It's got a beautiful swing.
It's fast, I know that.
Oh, 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Kylan. Jackson trying to get a third strikeout here to end the innings, keeping those runners at second and third.
He's doing a pretty good job so far.
Just misses on the inside, so that will load to count now. So 3 balls and 2 strikes here on Kylan.
Full count, 2 runners on, 2 runs scored, bottom of the third inning.
I think that pitch was just to see if he was still awake.
I think he might be.
Bit of a jump.
We're up to 8:30 time-wise. Hour and a half of this game gone. 1 hour left to go.
I look close.
And he gets a walk.
And the infielders thought that was a strike and started running off, but obviously just missed according to Kalapinda. That gives a walk to Kylan and loads the bases and brings up our left fielder, Liam O'Hay.
So he's been doing quite a good job out there in left field. He's had a bit of work to do. He's had 3 hits so far in 2 games.
Fouls that one down the first base netting.
I think he wants to bring a runner home. Hitting the first ball out there like that.
He's had a triple, a double.
And just swings over that pitch there. So we have a 2-strike count here on Liam.
He's been out in the first out in each of his 2 appearances so far in the first and second inning.
And swings over that one, and Jackson gets the third strikeout there to end the innings. Doesn't concede any runs himself, but the Lumberjacks score 2 runs to make the score 5-3.
Baseball. It starts with a glove and a ball. No matter where you start, where you play, or where the game takes you, you're still just playing ball.
What a moment for Luke Hughes. What a moment for Australia.
Join in the fun today. Visit baseball.com.au to find your local club.
And we come back here into the top of the 4th with the Yardbirds trailing by 2. We have Jacob Walker still on the mound, and we have Lachlan Wilson up to bat, leadoff hitter for the Yardbirds.
Top of the order. Fouls one off. Draws a strike, and this game might start to move a little quicker right now. We hope. It's gone after 8:30 now. We've got 1 hour of play left. We're only through 3 innings. So we may not get through 7 innings tonight unless something drastically speeds the game up.
Gets that call there on the outside corner. Who's count 2, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That one's gone. Lucky there's nobody on base as it ricochets away.
Tried an off-speed pitch there. Looked like it might have been a sort of a forkball grip coming out of his hands. Hard to tell from this angle back, but was an off-speed pitch of some kind. Dove down. Didn't get a swing from up though, so 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That was a good pitch, too low. Must have been down under the knees, I would say. Nice fastball though. Good bit of pace on that. Good location right across the middle. Just a little bit too low from Walker. Gets that now, gets his signs off John Lem, the catcher behind the plate for the Lumberjacks, and gets a strikeout there, does Walker. Well done. 1 up, 1 down. The Yardbirds, and that brings to the plate Sam Campion.
So Sam drew a full count walk in his last at bat, very confidently walking on the line. See how we can go in this at bat against Tex Walker.
Tex, that's his nickname, is it? Or is it just Mr. Walker? So let's see what Campion can offer up here. Another left-handed hitter. We've seen plenty of them tonight. And again, good location, but misses down low, I think.
And just misses high on that one. So that is now 3 balls here on Sam. Who again, you assume is going to be taking this pitch in a 3-0 count.
Yeah, I think it's a safety area for the pitcher. come back and start his account a little bit better. Gets one, yes he does. Batter's count. Yep, took the odds to it and draws the walk, does Campion. So base on balls. The Yardbirds get a runner on base here in the top of the 4th inning. They are trailing the Lumberjacks by 5 runs to 3.
So it brings up to bat now the pitcher for the Yardbirds. We have Jackson Grounds, who was the DH to start the night. It was now on the mound pitching. Continues to hit here in the lineup. Takes first pitch on the outside corner there for strike 1 with Sam up at first base.
Had a bit of a check swing on it, so he thought about it, but changed his mind. Oh, change up. Got a big swing out of Grounds, didn't he? To draw a big swinging strike. Runner at first is Sam Campion after being issued with a walk. The chopper goes to shortstop. He goes over the top of it. Missed it cold. Beckham Crooks. He took his head cleanly off that, charged the ball when he probably shouldn't have, or he should have charged a bit quicker.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that you got to commit really early, and Beckham sort of started to staggered his steps to start with, and then committed late, and got a really bad hop on the ball and just couldn't pick the ball. So that is could be a single, could be an error, but ball hit into the outfield. So runners on first and second base now. We have the right fielder, Ryan Woodrow, up at bat.
Well, Crooks could claim that he didn't touch the ball. If he didn't touch the ball, it won't be an error on him, I wouldn't think.
And Ty with a nice play at second base.
Oof. Nice
and
try for this double
Ryan
play.
beats the play out at first, so you only get the 1 out at second. So we have 2 out now. The nice play there by Tiger to turn the ball. We have runners on first and third, and we have the first baseman, Jay Myers, up at bat now. John Lem going through the first to third catcher signs to see what the play is for the ball throwing over the middle if it goes.
So Woodrow on were the fielder's choice. And Myers waiting the first pitch. Runners on the corners. Gets called strike there.
Just like to say thanks again. So if we have Donna, Julie and Ezekiel from last week, you can chat again. Hello. Thanks for your support of Jay last week. Had a chat to Jay on the weekend when I saw him. He loved the support. There's that off-speed sort of efficy pitch that Jacob throws there. Jay makes it foul, so we have 2 strikes here on Jay.
Just didn't get that one cleanly. 2 out, top of the 4th inning. Yardbirds are trailing this game by 2 runs.
You'd think that the runner on first would be a little bit more eager to get to second, seeing there's a runner on third.
And he throws that off-speed pitch there again and gets the strikeout of Jay to end the innings. So Yardbirds leave 2 runners stranded. Score remains 5-3 going into the bottom of the 4th. And as we return here, just giving a update on the score in the other game. I currently have it as 6 runs to 5 to the Assassins in the bottom of the 5th. We have Jackson Ground still on the mound here, and we have Jacob Nielsen up at bat.
And here at Bannister, the scoreline is 5-3. The Lumberjacks leading the Yardbirds, and we're halfway through the 4th innings. We head to the top of the 4th. With,
Bottom of the 4th.
Bottom of the 4th, sorry. I nearly said top of the order as well, so I'm not confused. Jacob Nielsen leading off here in the bottom of the 4th inning for the Lumberjacks. And
Takes first pitch there for a strike.
And as Matt said, Ground's still up on the hill, dealing to his catcher, Jamie Fox. And trying to get something going here. He wants to sit them down and get his team, the Yardbirds, back into the batter's box again.
Jamie doing a nice job framing that pitch in. Gets that call on the outside corner. So we have 2 strikes here on Jacob, who was upset with that call. But been a call strike. Going to move on.
He did do a great job of framing that. He pulled it right in.
Sits him down, gets a big swinging strike there on Jacob Nielsen. So that's a good first out there. The lead-off Nielsen in this bottom of the 4th innings goes down swinging with a big K2. That will bring to the plate the danger man, John Lem. Batting in the 4th slot. At this time, I'd like to also just quickly thank our sponsors of the Baseball Queensland Futures League, Alderley Hire and Bruce Much, Reedy Towing, Mark Reedy, Inform Plastics, Rod Gaunt, from Flash Graphics, Javier Gonzalez, and Earlith Electrical, Brett Earlith.
So John just fouling that ball down the first base line. So yeah, so one of our sponsors here, so yeah, Brent Earlith is the coach here of the...
Them.
Yeah.
Yardbirds.
The team names can be, yeah, the Yardbirds. Trying to remember which teams, but yeah, so Brent's one of the coaching staff of the Yardbirds here, so Brent's here as one of our sponsors of the league tonight.
It's all to do with these new uniforms.
Yeah, blue Yardbirds. It'll take us a little while to get used to these names
back.
and new jerseys.
Yeah, seeing as this is their first night with the new jerseys, and when they swap around next week, we go back to the repeat of first games that we had, and that will be exciting because that'll be the second time teams have played each other starting next week.
So how many people on each side, Matt? Like, are there... How many more, like... reserves, would you say? Or
I think each team has 14. Was the number they aimed for was having 14 per team, and then there was more than that supplied in the initial draft system. So the players that weren't picked sort of then filled into a draft pool of numbers. So if someone got injured or someone was away on it, you sort of had those extra players in the draft pool you could pull in and use for these competitions. So we're going to use the same system for the Junior League and Senior League competitions, which start next week. So we're going to be holding the draft for the Senior League on Friday night on Zoom, and then the draft for the Junior League will be held on Sunday afternoon at Redland. So any of the people listening that are involved in those competitions, stay tuned for your team announcements early next week. That information will be coming out ready for these games to start next
So in the
week.
Junior and the Senior League, are they going to still have these team names?
Yes.
Oh,
We're keeping the
right.
same team name. We're trying to keep the same team names. Some of the rules will be very similar because we're trying to sort of have it be a flow-on effect. So as John hits that ball to shortstop Lockie Wilson, who gets the ball across and gets the out at first through Jay. We're trying to keep some continuity. So each of the divisions is going to have the same team names. So in each division there'll be the Yardbirds, the Lumberjacks, Assassins, and the Jethawks. So players could play in all 3 competitions in different teams or same teams. But as it's a draft system, the players will be rolling through having those names.
And so if there are kids out there that are wanting to get into those junior and senior teams, how do they
So the
get
players
into those?
most of the players already filled in the expression of interest form. We are still chasing a few players for the Junior League.
And the age groups
Futsalies.
for those?
It is September 2005 to August 2007 for Senior League. And then for Junior League, it'll be September 2007 to August 2009, off the top of my head.
Okay.
Sorry, I've been
I have
going.
to tell some of my West kids.
I've been going through dates and that now, so I don't know off the top of my head. But yeah, so it's anyone that's playing in the junior league or senior league age groups in the club ball. They're the ones that are eligible for this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still chasing a few players for the junior league tournament. So if you know someone, if you're listening and know someone in that age group that would be interested, information is on the Baseball Queensland website, where there is the expression of interest form to be filled in, as we're still just chasing a couple of players to make sure we've got enough numbers across the 4 teams.
And are they always playing at those fields?
Yes, yeah. Okay. So it's the exact same system as this one's got here. So it's going to be a 8-9 week competition, and there's the 2 fields that are played at. Yeah. So the junior league is being played at Mount Gravatt and at Southern Stars on a Wednesday night. The senior league is being played at Mount Gravatt and at Runcorn on a Friday night.
Right, Runcorn.
Well done, Matt. That's Natali at the plate now with 2 out here, bottom of the 4th inning on the Lumberjacks. And Jackson Grounds plying his wares on the pitcher's mound. Doing a good job from up on the hill. Throwing that one out wide. But Natali at the plate now. Just like to mention Matt Glasson, co-commentary, and Tay O'Keefe in commentary as well, adding a little bit of colour to our broadcast tonight. And certainly helping out young Harrow here. Also pushing all the buttons, giving us all those shots. Nick McGowan Christie in production. We call him the master producer. He's got all the music going. He's got all the camera shots going. And, of course, down the line at Rodney Reed, sitting up high on the scaffold, bringing us the broad shot across the field towards first base, home plate and the pitcher's mound. And any of the tracking shots you see, that's Rodney Reed out there, way down the third base line.
So Angelo drills the walk there, brings up the first baseman Josh Marriott to the box now.
It's the 2 13s. We got a 13 on the mound and a 13 jersey in the box.
So Josh and John were teammates last year, both playing together at Windsor Royals, both in Division 1 and the Division 2 team. And then they played against each other. Sorry, Jackson and Josh. And they played against each other, I believe, in the under-20s competition last year. Jackson picking up a couple times as well. So playing with each other, playing against each other, they've done it both.
It's interesting that that these teams had a 13 because we were talking about superstition before and how some people just would not wear it.
Yeah, so I believe Josh normally wears 53. So obviously when the numbers got chosen, I don't think they went that high. So I'd say 13 probably was. He wanted the 3. So someone else probably took 3, so he got 13 instead.
Yeah.
Lucky for some. Fastball blows it past Marriott in that case. Jackson Grounds. Was a good height, just tempting enough.
So 1 ball, 2 strikes here on Josh.
2 out here, bottom of the 4th inning. Grounds looking to get that extra out.
Short lead by Angelo at first base. Jackson keeping an eye on him.
Dom French at second base in what I would call almost a perfect position for the left-handed hitter. Back deep on the cut grass.
Dom's another teammate of Josh's, so knows where he likes to hit the ball quite well.
Got him covered, I think.
They're quite good friends as well, so we'd love to get the ball hit to him to throw him out as well.
Plenty to talk about afterwards. Gee, it's a long time between pitches here. What's going on? Could have put the kettle on and made a cup of tea with a biscuit by now.
Ball just missing on the outside, makes that now a 2 ball, 2 strikes count. Jackson keeping a very close eye on the runner at first, even though he doesn't have much of a lead. Want to make sure he's not getting a huge lead over there.
Oh, leaves one up high.
So 3 ball, 2 strike count here. With 2 out, run on first. Just going to be off on the pitch here. First baseman Jay Myers plays behind him now. No need to hold him on anymore, because the runner will be moving with the pitch anyway.
Yep, he knows he's going. He's got to defend the ball. That's the main thing with 2 out here. All important 3rd out coming up if they keep their heads in it. The runner goes, and he strikes out the batter in the box. Josh Marriott goes down swinging.
There's some fantastic pitching there.
As the score remains 5-3 to Lumberjacks as we head into the top of the 5th. Alright, as we head into the top of the 5th inning, we have a new pitcher on the mound here for the Lumberjacks. We have Maverick Winlaw on the mound. You'll see his sidearm / submarine motion here. And we have Daniel Turner in the box.
It's an odd wind-up, but geez, it was a good pitch. Interesting.
It's not about where it starts from, it's where it finishes.
It's actually kind of a bit more difficult to read if it's coming from down low, isn't it? Interesting.
Good old sidewinder. You usually find them in older players.
Yeah, Mav's one of the young guys in his team. His brother's also on this team, but JD's not here tonight. Pitcher-catcher combo. I don't think they pitch and catch together very often, but they're pitcher-catcher combo. Just missing inside on that pitch there.
So, top of 5. Slightly built young fellow, isn't he?
What's
Young
the bet
Maverick.
that his dad or someone close to him taught him that? What do you reckon?
His dad is quite well known through the senior baseball ranks here in Queensland. Mick Winlaw's done some umpire coordinating at Redcliffe, coached quite a few of the representative teams up for Brisbane North as well, coached some club teams. So yeah, a lot of guys know Mick quite well, so let's give a shout out to Mick Winlaw. Does a great job up there at Redcliff with his umpiring coordinating last couple of years, I think.
Does he have the same pitch?
He does not.
Oh.
He wishes he did.
Oh, yeah, he's pretty good.
Mick's a second baseman.
So Daniel Turner goes down swinging with a K2.
Good job.
So
his
the
dad would be cheering him on
Pitching
right
style
now.
works well. 1 up, 1 down.
I'll probably get a message from Mick shortly.
Speaking of umpiring, go to Baseball Queensland website. There are some more community umpire courses coming up.
Yes.
I saw 2 advertised this week. I think one is a nighttime one.
Yeah, most of them will be held during the week. So there's one at Pine Hills on Wednesday the 6th, and there's one being held at Redlands on Tuesday the 5th of October.
There you go.
So if you're interested in gaining your umpire accreditation, which is the community umpire accreditation for your junior baseball, there'll be some courses and information being held. One at Pine Hills, one at Redlands, and I believe there's one more. I can't remember which club it was being held at though. But they're the two that I'm aware
I
of.
think it's on the 9th. Could it be?
Yeah,
Is it
could
that
be.
date?
But yeah,
rings a bell?
the information's posted on the Baseball Queensland website. If not, it's also on some of the club Facebook pages as well.
So once you do that and get a taste for umpiring and understand how it all works, of course you'll want to advance through the ranks and then get to this level of umpiring that these umpires are doing. And then you can, if you're young enough and agile enough, you can get to the level that Tom West is at, for example, who goes to the USA and is a very advanced umpire in the high minor leagues over there in the USA.
as Jamie Foxx strikes out there. But yeah, just adding on to what Harris said, as someone that does umpire coordinating for our baseball club, we're always looking out for more umpires. So if you're interested in doing it, even if you're not attached to a club, if you're interested in doing some umpiring, feel free to hit up your local club. They will greatly appreciate any umpiring help they can get any.
And parents that have players, they're always welcome. Male and female, always welcome to come and do umpiring just to help the teams out as they go through the different age groups. It always helps.
So Dom French in at bat here. Hits a ground ball up to shortstop Beckham Crooks, who makes the play.
Oh, good stretch at
over
first.
with Josh making a stretch there, keeping his foot on the base. That ends the innings. Score still is 5-3.
Baseball. It starts with a glove and a ball. No matter where you start, where you play, or where the game takes you, you're still just playing ball.
What a moment for Luke Hughes. What a moment for Australia.
Join in the fun today. Visit baseball.com.au to find your local club.
Welcome back to Bannister Park here in the lovely Brisbane suburb of Hendra. Not far from the city, great location. We go to the bottom of the fifth inning now, and leading off for the Lumberjacks in this bottom of 5 is the number 9, Tiger Sato. Lumberjacks lead the game 5 runs to 3, halfway through 5. Bottom of the 5th, Sato leads off. Jackson Grounds remains on the mound for the Yardbirds. Throws first pitch for a called strike. Well, swinging strike actually. Tiger took a nice hack. So Grounds ready to do business here on Sato. Batting 7 in the order is Tiger Sato, but leading off bottom of 5 right here. And the evening has cooled off nicely. No rain. It's all gone away now. And the little bit that we got didn't inconvenience the game at all. There was no break in play. So we're up to 9 o'clock. The game has been going 2 hours to get us through 4.5 innings. And a strike outside edge there called on Sato. Grounds looking at his catcher, Jamie Foxx, still in there behind the plate. And Matt taking a well-earned break, just getting a cool drink. Ground ball. Third base, tried to cover it. Daniel Turner couldn't get it. Backed up by Lachlan Wilson. He couldn't get it, but he knocked it down at least. And that keeps Sato at least at first base. So I think that will The third baseman didn't touch it. Daniel Turner ran across. He may have obstructed his own teammate Wilson just a little, but might go into the scorebook as E6, but I'm not an official scorer. That'll be up to them. It's good base running though for Sato. Gets him on first and starts something off here for the Lumberjacks. Beckham Crooks comes to the plate now. Shortstop for the Lumberjacks at the plate, and grounds turns and throws off to first base Jay Myers. And a bit down in the dirt, that one in front of the bag as well. Myers still had to get down and pick it. So Crooks steps back in and awaits this next pitch from grounds. Of course, the Schnitzel truck is still out here tonight. Came out again tonight, their second appearance. That one a bouncer in front of home plate. Attempted throw over by Fox to his shortstop Wilson, but the runner was certainly there. Tiger Sato got plenty of speed, plenty of wheels underneath him. He took off and he was always going to be safely at second once he made his decision to go. I hope you're enjoying all of those different camera angles tonight. No fences obstructing the view, which is always nice. Pitch fastball inside. And that allows Sato to steal third with those wheels. He got a good jump on that from the pitch on grounds. And it was inside on Beckham Crooks, who left it alone. Danger time. The runner at third. Third is Sato. 2 stolen bases. So it's a Lumberjacks trying to turn the screws here on the Yardbirds. They've got a 2-run lead. They want to build that out as much as they can in this bottom of the 5th innings with less than 30 minutes of play in this game. And leaves that one up and high, does grounds, and that leaves Beckham Crooks with a walk to go to first base. The runners on the corners here in the bottom of 5. Manager visit. Might be a change of pitcher here by the look of it. They've been warming up in the bullpen for a while, and he's handed the ball in. So grounds heads to the field now. Where is he going? Centre field, I think. Jackson grounds. Off to centre field. He's gone to centre. Just trying to see who came off. Was it McGaw or was it Campion? It wasn't Campion, so it's McGaw. It'll be Jackson grounds in centre field. So Max McCaw comes off.
And Kalen Van Hilst is the new pitcher.
Thank you, Matt.
Oh, good. As I'm back.
Welcome back to the commentary position.
Indeed. Thought I saw the pitching change come up and help you out and let you know who came on the field.
Thank you.
Was just down there talking to Kalen's dad, Derek, who's one of the ones involved with the organisation committee for this. So Derek's on the GBL committee with me. Derek was one of the people and part of the committee that was organised, set up to help run and set up this competition. So,
oh, nice.
Just had a quick chat with Derek down there. He might be coming in here next week, have a bit of a chat with us. So
yeah, he said he's been trying to make some time, but he always seems to find himself very busy.
So we might have a couple of interviews lined up for next week. Not any really this week, unless I get a roaming mic and go interview the umpires. It's hard to get down. There's not anyone else here this week.
We need the long cord for that. We don't have a wireless mic available.
It'd be nice to have the umpires mic'd up, but might get a few language. No, might get some language we don't want in the game.
I don't think so. It's bad enough that football codes have got them mic'd up. I can't stand it. I used to do some of that stuff back in the day when I was a very svelte athlete. But microphones now, I think, even on players and in cricket and all sorts of things like that, I think there's no real call for it.
The cricket ones have gone a bit too far with the stump mics.
Yeah.
I don't mind the old ones. Obviously, following football myself as well. Like some of so Jared Gillett, who's just gone over to was the first non-Englishman to do a Premier League game on the weekend.
Right.
He was mic'd up in one of his A-League games here, so it just offers a little bit of insight to see how they work on the. Like I don't like it every game, but every now and then you get to see it because it just shows you a different side to the officiating of the game.
Yep.
So yeah, Kalen Van Hilst is on the mound here as we have a runner on first and third after Tiger with that stolen base. We have Soren Branch up to bat here.
And Branch steps in there now for his third appearance of the night. He got a walk in his first appearance and a strikeout in the second.
So just updating the scoreboard, I believe it is runners on first and third with none out here.
Correct. Way inside, a runner comes home, will score standing up. Good base running on that pitch that went to the back net there on Jamie Fox. Had to retrieve it. Van Hilst came in to cover the plate, but the runner was always down here early because that was Tiger Sato, and he has got one set of wheels, so they build another run buffer.
Yep. So Steele's third base there, and then comes home on that pass ball.
Beckham Crooks followed him around. He went to second. Protected himself there. So runner at two in scoring position. Soren Branch at the plate.
And Kalen just missing on the inside corner there.
There's a long look at the signs from Jamie Fox. Probably a bit hard to pick up. You'd need the white out on your fingertips tonight, I think, if you're a catcher. They use that anymore anyway? I don't think they do.
Not really here. In Division 1, you might get a pitcher do it on some of the fields. The lighting can be a bit difficult for pitchers to see sometimes. So they do it in the major leagues. The nail polish on the fingers, or stickers.
Yep, something bright.
This league, I haven't really seen much of it.
Pop up.
Jay Myers reaches over, but the ball went into the car park, fence there at the back.
Gone into the far car park.
But even during I caught some games last season, so I'm only playing lower league baseball myself. But yeah, even some of the day games, depending on how overcast it is, where the sun's coming from, it can be quite difficult for the pitcher sometimes to actually see the signals from the catcher. So anything you can have on your fingers can help make it easier for them to see.
Yeah. Branch gets a walk. Back-to-back walks.
So runners on first and second with none out. We go back to the top of the order. We have Kylan Pearce up to bat.
Of course, that was the first batter faced by Van Hilst. The previous walk was issued by Jackson Grounds before the change of pitcher. So Pearce waiting this next pitch from Van Hilst. Of course, his father, as you said, one of the organisers, but a very handy pitcher in his day as well.
Made a few appearances in Division 1 last season.
Yep. We had the pleasure of broadcasting some of the Sydney-based, New South Wales-based State League competition there, similar to the GBL here. And he was a pitcher of note for the Ride Club.
Yeah, there was a couple of games last season, I think, where they were short a few players that Derek had to put himself in the game as the coach of the team, so you never want to do that when you're the coach.
Probably reluctantly but gladly.
Yeah.
He would have been happy to do it, I think, but reluctant, but probably enjoyed every minute of it.
Especially when he's playing with his son as well. So, as we mentioned, I think week 1, not many guys get to play with their kids in the same sport, so especially at the top level.
So Pearce fouls that one back over the top of this high back net into foul territory behind the third base dugout. Over near our cameraman, actually, Rod Reed. We've lost Tay for a few minutes. She's gone off to have a bite to eat, a little bit of dinner. She came here, I think, from coaching a young team. Another foul, getting a bit of bat to ball there is Pierce.
That's one of the comments Derek was saying. He's surprised our home plate camera hasn't been hit by a ball yet, because there's been quite a few pass balls tonight. But I think, did you put that one up, Harrow?
Carefully positioned.
I think, yeah, you put it in the right position there, made sure it's away from as possibly any foul balls we can get, any pass balls. Just checking calling time. I think we're just checking the count on the batter.
I've taken that risk several times in the past. That's why I prefer a centre field camera. A strike on there after a check with the scorers.
I think, yeah, so let's just check. I have the count as 1 ball, 2 strikes. Was I correct? Hopefully Carla can signal me the count here. No, 2-2. I missed the ball.
Okay. Normal service has been restored. 2-2 count. Not anymore.
Fouled that one off. Yeah, no, it was. Yep.
Oh, he did just get a tip.
Just got a tip on it.
Wow.
Jamie couldn't quite hold on to it. So 2 balls, 2 strikes still here for Kaylin.
Looks like the scorer's tent has been set up rather low tonight to keep the wind and rain off them a little bit. The legs are a bit short. So that would be, I think, is that a full count now?
Indeed it is.
Yep.
Update from the other game. It is 6-all in the top of the 7th.
Oh,
the other game over at Carina.
As we get towards the end.
Jet Hawk scored 1 in the top of the 6th. So it is a 6-all ball game in the other game.
That's the Assassins and the Jethawks.
And Kylan there draws the walk, which now puts runners on all of the bases. So we have loaded bases here for the left fielder, Liam O'Hay.
Wow.
So both teams sort of going into, I wouldn't say the bottoms of their bullpens, but towards the back of their bullpens tonight.
And there's none out.
Not many positions, not many players left on the Yardbirds, I'd say, to come in if Kaylin starts struggling here. They've already gone through a few pitches tonight. As he gets strike 1 there on Liam.
Yeah, he's the 5th pitcher they've had, and there's no outs in the 5th inning. That's a hard night at the office.
It is indeed. Just missing down on that fastball there, so it is 1-1.
Had plenty of pace on it. It was a good pitch otherwise than the location. Apart from the 9:30 or hour and 30 cut-off time, 2 hour 30, is there a time limit before they can start a new innings? Or it's the way I read the rule, it says if you start a new innings, you finish it.
I believe there is a curfew in place here at Hendra, but I think it's 10 o'clock is the curfew.
Okay.
So there are specific rules for club ball games to be played with the curfew rule.
Yeah.
But I don't think... I think if they start the innings, they'd finish it off. But I think if they need to, they could finish the innings close to that. But yeah, my understanding is there's a 10 o'clock curfew, which is a Brisbane City-wide curfew here.
Okay, and we're within the bounds here anyway at the moment.
And yeah, especially with there being the houses literally right behind the field here, I think 10 o'clock is, I think, a hard curfew.
Okay.
Lights off at 10:30, I believe the ruling is.
There's a car behind first base with its headlights on, would you believe? In the car park.
As Liam draws a walk there, that brings a run in for the Lumberjacks. There's now 7-3 scoreline, and that brings up the third baseman, Jacob Nielsen.
Wow.
So yeah, so normally the normal curfew rule, again, I know this because I had to rewrite the rule this year. So it's normally you can play your 2 extra innings after the curfew time, which would be the hour before. And then there's obviously the specific times when you have your last batter as well. As Jacob gets hit by that pitch, which will bring in another run. Kaylin's just struggling for a little bit of control here. That now makes it 8-3.
We might not have to worry about that next inning.
Then we have John Lem coming into bat as Brent Ellis goes out to the mound. Then we're going to have another pitching change potentially here.
Here comes our new pitcher now. He's been warming up in the bullpen.
I believe that's Miller Bell coming into the game now.
Okay, so I think Miller Bell has reasonable stats when I look through, or are they hitting stats?
And Kalen is walking over to third base, I think, because Daniel, who was at third base, might be going down to the bullpen to warm up after Miller.
Okay.
So we have Miller Bell coming into pitch, and Kalen has gone over to third base. I'd say more so it looks like Daniel might be going down to the bullpen to warm up just in case. So we'll be back in a second while his pitching change happens and a warm-up goes. So there'll be some music just here with possible ads as well.
Baseball. It starts with a glove and a ball. No matter where you start, where you play, or where the game takes you, you're still just playing ball.
What a moment for Luke Hughes. What a moment for Australia.
Join in the fun today. Visit baseball.com.au to find your local club.
And as we return here, Miller is just finishing off his warm-up pitches. So we have Miller Bell as the new pitcher on the mound. Just making the changes to the scorers. So Kalen Van Hilst has gone over to third base. And I believe we now have Daniel Turney was at third base going down to the bullpen to warm up, possibly to come in to pitch after this. Our batter, when we get up here in a second, will be John Lem with loaded bases and none out. Must just be some difficulty with the changes, just taking a little bit down here.
Just looking at Miller Bell, him and his catcher are having a chat, but guess what? Who's missing?
Yeah, the umpire.
Carla Pinder just working something out with the scorers there, no doubt, but the
I'll
players are ready.
Yeah. I'll just give a shout out to our scorers for tonight while we're here. So our scorers for tonight, we have Michelle Bell and we have Janelle Dunstan as our two scorers for tonight.
Nice.
So obviously they're working through the new software. So as we mentioned, one of our BQ partners, we have the My Ball Club scoring system from Mr. Zambelli. Yep, Zambelli, Michael Zambelli from San Diego. They're using the system for this league here, and are going to try and get incorporated into the summer ball season as well. And our other BQ partner, we have Sports Club HQ from Jace Farmer on the Gold Coast. As Carla is ready here now, John's just asking if Miller wants another pitch. Miller has said no, so John steps into the box
Miller's been
as
ready
we
for
go
5
here.
minutes.
Jamie's just making sure his first and third baseman are the same play, knowing what's going on if the ball gets hit to them. As we're ready here for John, loaded bases and none out.
3 runs scored already in this bottom of the 5th innings with none out, as Matt just said, loaded bases, and John Lem steps up. Now, John Lem has got some batting record, I can tell you, in this league, as short as it's been so far. Miller Bell certainly won't want to put a pitch into the wheelhouse of John Lem. So Bell's got the pitching credentials in the league as well at the moment. And Lem lifts that one high into left field side. It's falling in foul territory, and it is foul ball. Chasing across was shortstop Lachlan Wilson, who made a big attempt to call it. He called off his third baseman, which is now Kalen Van Hilst. Called him off, but couldn't get a good sighting on the ball. But it was always going to at least fall foul. It was never going to fall into fair territory, that's for sure. Left fielder Sam Campion was a long way from it, back out in deep left field.
So yeah, John's had a quite productive off season. John went and played down the Gold Coast League, and was playing for Twin Cities down there. They got the championship win, I believe. So John, yeah, after coming off the Division 1 season playing with Windsor Royals, went and played some Division 1 baseball down the Gold Coast. So he's been quite prepared for this competition here, and then leading into Division 1 club ball season as well. John will be very ready to go for that.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Building his development.
Yeah, as we mentioned, I believe last week, might be the first week, John has committed to college. We'll be going over to college at the start of next year's season.
So August next year.
I believe he's committed to New Mexico. I believe. I don't confirm that on me, but I believe that's where he's going.
Okay.
Also, while we're here, Miller Bell I saw was posted the other day is also committed to a college. If you give me a second, I'll find out which college that was.
Nice work. A lot of players going over there and getting education as well as baseball improvement. The baseball programs are very, very strong. Very, very strong. In the junior colleges and the universities. Junior college is a bit more like a TAFE, but they are 2 years in their sports program. Lifts that one foul into the back net again. Just getting under the ball a little bit there. Here's John Lem.
Miller Bell is committed to a junior college in Texas to continue his baseball career.
Cool.
So yeah, that was recently posted.
Good area. I think Qantas still fly directly into Texas.
Probably.
Dallas Fort Worth, I think.
So yes, a lot of these young players here now are starting to see those experiences, and yeah, quite a few of them are committing to the college pathway in America, getting some additional experience over there to work with the Baseball Queensland development programs they've been coming through, and also the Bandits Futures League, which is coming up as well. So the Bandits Futures team played some games against the BQ Under-18 development squad, obviously leading into the state titles as well.
And of course, international students in those colleges get to pay double fees.
Yes. So Miller just walks John there on that pitch, just missing outside corner. That will bring in another run. So we still have none out here. That is now 9-3 to the Lumberjacks, and we have Angelo Natali as the DH on the mound in the batter's box now.
In the batter's box, Natali's had 2 walks tonight and a double to left field.
See if he can get something to hit here with a 6-run lead. Should be swinging the bats hopefully.
Danger bells are still ringing for the Yardbirds, of course. And the other game across the bridge at Carina was 6-6, the last score check we had. The Assassins and Jethawks. Assassins had been leading and the Jethawks made a comeback. Oh, ripped through the middle there from Natali. Ground ball out to Jackson Grounds in centre field. Throws it back in to cut runs off, but there's certainly 1 run scored, and that's Liam O'Hay has crossed the plate, and that advanced Nilsson to third, Lem to second, and Natali stands safely at first with a very, very strong single to centre field, position 8.
So brings up now Josh Marriott.
The 9th batter in this inning.
And the score is, it is 6-all in the bottom of the 7th over at Carina.
Wow.
It is 1 out with no runners on. We have Mitch Hewson pitching for the Jethawks with Deegan Powell at bat for the Assassins.
They could be there all night.
It could be indeed.
I believe if the scores are locked at the end of normal time, they go into international tiebreaker rules. So Marriott at the plate with none out and 5 runs scored. Here at Bannister. Makes the scoreline 10 runs to 3.
Just outside missing there from Miller. Jared Long is first base coach, offloading all the equipment he's collected again.
Again. Anybody think he's a courier service?
Josh just missing that one there. Fouls that one back. It is now 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Adjacent to us, there's a massive big bridge club, and half the cars in the car park are actually bridge players over there. And that's a very, very busy place during the week. Swing and a miss.
Josh swings through that one. Can't quite make contact and keep the at-bat alive. That is the first out there of the innings. A strikeout for Miller. As we mentioned, Miller was leading the strikeout numbers before tonight. So he just adds one there. So he's still keeping in touch with the leaders in the strikeout category, depending how other games have gone. With one out now and loaded bases, we bring up Tiger Saito.
For his second at-bat in the 5th inning.
So we're batted round now. This is about a 10 for the innings as that throw just gets wild there from Jamie, but Miller does a good job keeping it close, keeps the runner at third base.
So what can Miller Bell do now in conjunction with his catcher Jamie Fox to try and get these last 2 outs? Well, he can't get one there. Tiger rips that one, might even be a broken bat, to the left field side, fielded by Sam Campion, and he keeps the runner back at third. So 1 run scores, and that bat sounded like it might have smashed.
Yeah, that definitely sounded like a shattered bat there.
Single to left field side from Saito.
I believe we've just had time and game called by the umpire. There was a shaking of hands, I think. It could have been side away, but everyone's running off with coming in. That was time and game, so that will be the final here at Bannister Park. We have the score 11 runs to the Lumberjacks, beating Yardbirds on 3.
11 runs to 3. Lumberjacks over the Yardbirds. That's a great big scoreline. And we know the scores are tied up across at Carina between the Assassins and the Jethawks. And I'm pretty sure the Assassins are the home team batting in the bottom of the inning.
It is the bottom of the innings. There's a runner on first base now with 2 outs.
Okay. So 2 out, so they might level that up as well. So we've still got game called here, as you can see. Players shaking hands after a tough game here, certainly for the Yardbirds. They went through 6 pitches in 5 innings of baseball. So that's a lot of rollover of your pitching staff there. And we've been graced with the presence of Tay O'Keefe. She's refreshed and come back just to see the end of the game.
I was watching the game from the ground. It was wonderful.
It's nice atmosphere out there and there's no rain. It's been a great night of baseball that we've managed to get away with here. And so that's fantastic as well. We're going to fill for a minute or two just in case we get a result from the other ground over at Carina. Matt, you just saw.
I just think Brent, the coach here, is just asking for some clarification on the ending of the game there from Michael Bates.
Okay.
Just seeing, because I think we only had it 11-3, so there wasn't the mercy rule in place, and there was still some time left. So I think, Brent was just asking for why the game was called there.
Just clearly on time, I think 9:30.
We have a single in the game at Carina, so it is runners on first and second. Tyson hit the ball to the right field side, so runners on first and second with 2 outs. Bottom of 7th at Carina.
Oh, wow. Sounds like a crackerjack game over there. So we're going to run through sponsors again. I'll just mention them, and I know you've seen plenty of them on our stream tonight with Nick McGowan Christie doing all the production and giving you all the shots, the right camera selections, and of course all of the advertising for all of our great sponsors. And a little bit of music as well that Matt's been managing, and Matt's also been managing that scoreboard up in the corner of your screen that you see the progress of the game as well as commentary. So he's worked double time, I think, tonight. I've had it quite easy. Tay's had it easy as well, but she's been to baseball training and driven through a storm to get here.
Got hit in the neck with a ball this afternoon. That was fun.
How lucky are you?
Yeah.
Not everybody gets to that stage.
Yeah.
So, thanks to those sponsors. And, of course, the Baseball Queensland partners, My Ball Club with Live Score software, Michael Zambelli from California, and Sports Club HQ, the membership and competition software, Jace Farmer on the Gold Coast. We thank them as well, of course. So you look at the Baseball Queensland website /futures, and once you look at that, you can get all of the updates. You can watch the replays of this broadcast whenever you like on YouTube. There's links available there. Whatever channel you're on now, just bookmark it and you go back to it and watch it as many times as you want.
And hit subscribe.
Yeah, you can hit subscribe as well. That's even better for everybody involved. So that game over there, we're hanging on the balance there. There was 2 out in the 7th inning, I think.
Yeah, no updates yet. I just refreshed the page. So
nothing coming there. So we're going to bail out, I think, now. It's gone after 9:30. A big scoreline here tonight, 11 runs to 3, and we didn't complete the bottom of the 5th innings. So that's been called on time, 9:30. So keep your eye on the website. The other thing you get on the Baseball Queensland Futures website is the statistics for the players. And that'll be interesting because all of the clubs, as I said earlier, have played each other once already. So it's good that you can get in and have a look at all of that. Keep up with it. We will be back on air again next week. And the game from Bannister on the 6th of October is between the Lumberjacks and the Jethawks. That should be a crackerjack game. So, no, it's not. The other game's going to Rapids next week. So the game at Bannister is the Yardbirds and Assassins. So that should be a very interesting game for us here. So that'll be next week.
Please come along to watch.
Come along and watch. If you can't get here to watch, then the game starts at 7 p.m. We'll attempt to get on air about 10 minutes before that.
Always a food truck here.
Yeah, there certainly is. And it's just wonderful. You can smell it and you feel like drifting down the stairs to go and get some of that stuff. So in the meantime, in summary, we've had Matt Glasson commentary tonight, doing the play-by-plays, doing an excellent job, as I said. Tay O'Keefe has joined us from Western. She's had a big night here as well. Yeah. It's all going to keep going. And Rodney Reed, our cameraman extraordinaire down the third base side, has just come back from the cold and from the scaffolding. He's done a fantastic job.
Frozen fingers.
Excuse me. And our production team, of course, Nick McGowan Christie, he is the whole team, one person, doing a great job bringing you all the streaming, getting it to you on time. And, of course, I'm Paul Harradine, also known as Harrow, and we've enjoyed bringing you this broadcast. Tune in again next week for the next game of Baseball Queensland Futures League. Bye for now.